Welcome back to the W number, everybody. If you can hear me good, man, let me know in the comments real quick for everybody who watches the replay and everybody just showing up. Anybody who's already here, hello, salute. I hope everybody's been enjoying the content. I've been busting my ass trying to put in work tonight. We got some good shit for you, bro. I'm going to tell you about my first loss, bro. And anybody who tells you like, look, I've never lost a fight in prison is a damn liar, right? I mean, maybe they haven't lost a fight in prison. Maybe they haven't gotten into a lot of fights in prison either. If you get into enough fights with dudes that are actually about any type of, they got hands on them or they've been fighting or they work out, they get it in, there's a good chance that there's a 50-50 chance that you might lose, bro. That's why we stay in such good shape. That's why we exercise so hard. That's why we train our hands. Like, especially when I was in STP, I used to sit in the box, and when I thought I was coming out of DDU to go to population to be involved in a war, I was up there hitting the bag hard, boom, 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 every day, sometimes for hours. So much so that I drove the people on my hold here almost nuts, because you can hear that tap, 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 bang, bang, bang. Like when you're hitting the bag in the hole, that shit reverberates through every cell in the hole. Like you can hear that shit. So it's like you got to be dedicated. You got to be able to put up with the bullshit. People being like, man, can you keep that down, bro? I'm trying to watch TV and I'm trying to read, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times I want to be like, you know what? I don't want to bother you while you're watching TV. I hate it. I personally can't stand it when people are fucking around. I'm trying to relax, read my book, and watch TV or do whatever that I'm trying to focus on, because I was learning languages. I was learning the law. So I had a lot of things going on. And the last thing I want to do is hear people beatboxing on the toilet or on the sink or on the walls or yelling out the door all day and night. Like that shit's annoying as fuck. Right. But, how's everybody doing tonight, man? Let me know in the chat how the audio is and what everybody's up to. If you want to join the channel for $2.99 a month, it's nothing. You can get my daily posts. You get access to first of all, the newest members only video is the full video of the interview I just put up. You can watch the entire thing without any breaks in the middle. But also, how'd you guys like that video, man? I thought that was a dope ass interview, bro. Not for nothing. I really did. I thought that was some fire content. I thought it was super deep, really, good sound, quality video, all that, man. That shit was really dope, bro. I appreciate Mathematics for coming up on the channel and speaking, bro. He wants to come back. We got a list of fire ass interviews coming up, man. And I'm not even going to get into it because you know how cancellations get, but I'm not even lying, bro. I got a list of some really, really good guests. And no bullshit, bro. I'm really psyched. I'm actually excited for the future of this podcast. So let me get into my story real quick. Little red eyes. Yeah, bro, fire, right? Absolutely. You already know, my dude. Honestly, I don't know what it is people are looking for sometimes. I'm like, when I put this out, I'm like, wow, I was editing it and I'm like, this is some powerful shit. When you think like, yo, I can make a reel or I can make a short out of almost every single clip in that video, like this dude's he's a powerhouse of wisdom. That's all I got to say. But, hey, what's up, baby girl? How you doing tonight? This is actually a story I told my girl the other night. I smoked a joint. I was stoned, and I'm like, you know what? I'm telling my girl how I got my ass whooped for the first time in prison, and I'm thinking, man, this is a video right here. Like, like who doesn't want to hear a genuine story? Like, if you're telling a story about how you won a fight, you think like maybe he could be lying, but nobody's gonna get up here and lie about a story about how they lost a fight. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get some genuine fire content right now tonight. This hurt my pride. This hurt my ego. When I seen one of my homeboys after this, I went out to the yard and he was on the rec deck. I seen him and he was like, don't worry, bro. He's like, don't worry, big bro. He's like, you still got a stellar record. He's like, one loss ain't gonna do you, you know what I mean? Like, just adds character. It adds some character to your reputation. Cause dudes that get in a lot of fights, man, they end up losing sometimes, bro. But the thing is, I came close, very close to losing one other time. But I didn't lose, and I actually hurt the kid, but I came close. That's all that matters, right? And that woke me up. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to ever lose a fight. not because of the pain of any fist or foot or knife or anything, right? The worst type of pain is the ego pain, the pain of, you being bested by another man. That shit hurts to the soul. That's the worst type of pain. And I'm telling you, man, I never wanted to lose a fight. That's why I stayed so physically fit, bro. I would do thousands of Navy SEALs. And maybe I'm a pussy. I just don't like getting punched in my face. But I learned. I learned how to move. You know what I mean? Like I had to. You know what I mean? You're around a lot of dudes in prison that grew up in the streets fighting. Like a lot of kids that grew up fighting, period. Oh shit. Um, yeah, so somebody's about to get the next person. Okay, concerned citizen just got a free membership. Thank you, metal groupie. Bats out in the bro. What's up, bro? Um, that shit's dope right there. I appreciate that. Concerned citizen just got hit off. Um, so gifts like that go a long way, no bullshit. And not for nothing, but the algorithm really picks up on look at that. I love the way it looks with the members badge right next to it with the wolf's head, bro. Shield warrior, bro. You're a shield warrior, pal. You just joined the ranks of other shield warriors, people who yeah, you did it right. You did it right, metal groupie. Hell yeah, you did it right. But he just joined the ranks of dudes like, you know what I mean? People that are supporting a real good cause. You know what I mean? That shit's dope, bro. Like I that's something I'd be a part of. You know what I mean? That's something I am a part of. I support other people all the time. And I'm legit, I'm a member on a lot of channels. So like the money is not, that's not what I do it for. But anyways, right? So check it out, right? When I got into Souza Baranowski in 2008, I met this dude that I ended up getting to a fight with. Maybe I want to say I met him in like 2011 or 2010. I was in N2 and he had knocked out another white dude during a brawl. And this kid had been knocking out dudes for, many years in this place. I haven't heard of him taking another loss, but at the same time, it's not about, taking losses because like I said, sometimes people just don't fight their match. You know what I mean? Sometimes people fight only people they know they can beat. And that shit's fucking lame as hell, right? So you can never really go off of someone's win-loss record because in determining whether they actually can fight or not, it does go a little ways towards saying, yeah, this dude's a beast. He's been in like this many fights, and he hasn't lost one yet. But like, look at the person they're fighting. You know what I mean? If that person's any type of a real dude, or he's got hands, or he's a tough dude, or he's got a reputation, and he's known, like, the dude's not picking and choosing his battles, right? And that's that in prison, that goes a long ass way. When you're looking for respect, if you don't pick and choose your battles, if you'll fight the toughest dude in the yard for the same thing you'll fight the weakest dude in the yard for, then that's a true gangster to me. But you know what? The weakest dude in the yard, like, I would rather fight the toughest dude in the yard and I wouldn't fight the weakest dude in the yard. I just don't think I could. If someone doesn't fight me back, I'm not with it, bro. I'm not gonna be beating this dude up, bro. What I will do though is I'll push him to give me his canteen or maybe strong arm him. That's what I would have did in the past, right? What I would do now, I'd probably take a different approach just because I'm not with that anymore, bro. And I know the type of trauma that could do to somebody. Like, even though I didn't notice it and I wasn't physically harming him, the threat of that physical harm that he was living under probably caused some type of damage to his fucking, I would say, central nervous system at the time, just to say the least. He's probably not sleeping right or eating right. They lose weight. I've seen it. You know what I mean? I watch him deteriorate, and I'm thinking in my head the whole time, like, man, maybe it's not right to be doing all this. But then again, it's the dog eat dog political machine that prison really is. Prison's a political machine when you think about it. Like, you go in there and the first thing you learn is who you're going to run with, Like, these are the white dudes. This is the dudes that you're gonna want to be chilling with. We don't talk to these dudes. We don't talk to those dudes. When you go to yard, this is what you got to do. When you go to gym, this is what you got to do. If your boys go to gym, you got to go to gym. If your boys get into a fight at the table, you're getting into a fight at the table. If this dude calls you a bitch, you have to move on him. If you have an on-site with somebody, or if your crew has an on-site with somebody, as soon as you see them in the hallway, you have to get them. If this dude threatened you with a knife, you should go get a knife and stab him if he did not use that weapon right away, right? If somebody threatens you right on the tier and he doesn't have a weapon, don't let him leave, walk away, and get a weapon. You have to move on him right there. Anything less, anything short of those things right there, if you do not take those necessary absolute steps in every single one of those situations, you will be known as a bitch. Right? So there is absolutely situations in prison where you have to fight. There's no like, oh, I think I might fight this dude this time and whatever. You're going to fight. If they do certain thing, you're going to fight, or you're going to be taken advantage of. It's either you're going to be food or you're going to be eating food. Like, in prison, that's the biggest thing about prison, is that there's no like kind of in between grounds. It's either you're a dog, motherfuckers respect you, or they don't respect you, and you are food. You're going to be getting taken advantage of. You're going to have a horrible time in your bid. And for someone like me, that will not go to PC simply because I'm not going to be around the people that are in PC, just the people that are there. So I could never even allow myself to do that. So if you're somebody who won't fight back and won't do that, and won't go to PC to live around those people, be prepared to, be taken advantage of and live a stressful ass life under someone's thumb the entire time you're in prison, because that type of shit doesn't go away. People see you paying out and they're like, you know what? I want to get paid too. As soon as that dude that's strong arming you gets lugged or goes to the hole or gets moved to a different block, they're up in your ass next. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get passed around like a bitch. You know what I mean? That's kind of just how it goes. Hopefully, if you're one of the very lucky few, you'll slide under the radar and nobody will ever know you're even alive. And then you'll just go to a medium and then a minimum and then a pre-release, and then you'll walk on your merry little way, because a lot of people do go to prison and they do end up, sliding through their bids with not a lot of issues. And it's possible. It really is, bro. It depends on how you carry yourself, how old you are, what your intentions are right when you walk through the door, what your mindset is when you walk through the door. You know what I mean? Because you go in there, you already know in your head what you're going to be, the way you're going to be acting. You know what I mean? You're going to be, you're going to be on your shit, or you're going to be on your shit for programming and trying to get better, right? You're going to be on your bullshit, or you're going to be on your shit. You know what I mean? But, so when it comes to this fight right here, I have known this dude for a long time. He was a Spanish gang member. He's from Springfield. He was a short, stocky Dominican kid. He wasn't really short, you know what I mean? He was probably like 5'8", 5'9", maybe even 5'10". And I'm like 6 feet tall, right? So he's a little bit shorter than me, but he's stocky, right? So 8 months prior to the fight, I was out on the rec deck with my friend Justin, and we were working out, and I was doing sit-ups off the decline sit-up machine. And when I leaned back on the sit-up machine, instead of going flat backwards, I arched the top of my back and brought my upper body backwards, but kind of left my lower back and my butt kind of froze, like stiff. Instead of bringing it all the way back, flat backed, I brought my upper back and arched my back like that. You know what I mean? So when I did that, it pinched something in my back. A nerve got pinched in my back. My left foot went numb. My left calf completely did not work. There was a severe pain going down my sciatic nerve, and my whole left side of my body was fucked up. I was fucked up. I did something to my back, but I refused to go to the HSU because they said I was a danger to myself because I couldn't defend myself if something was to happen. So I was supposed to go to the HSU. They were trying to force me up there, and I was like, absolutely fucking not. I'm not going to the HSU. There's no fucking way in hell. Excuse my language. I'm trying not to swear as much, but so they were, they left me in my cell. I'm probably one of the only people that I've seen them actually concede on this level to, right? They really did concede. They knew I would fight the move team with a fucked up back right out of the unit. I'm not going, right? And they can't move you without getting all dressed up in the turtle suits with the riot gear, the stab vests, and the helmets, and the shields, and the gas, getting express permission from the lieutenant and the captain to use chemical agents and force to move you, bunch of reports. And they know I know that, right? They know I know how to make them work. So they're like, nah, just let them stay down there. Fuck it. It's not worth it, right? So I'm in my cell. They're legitimately having the nurse when she comes in for med rounds. She's coming in the block, putting the med cart in the medication room where they do it, locking the door, and then walking up with a CO as in her escort to my cell because I was in cell 42 on N1. Right. When it first happened, I was in cell 12 with my boy Justin in a double cell. Then I got moved up to cell 47, and then they moved me down to cell they moved me over to cell 42, right? And at the time I had a little baby mouse, right? I was raising a baby mouse. When it first happened, I had a mouse, right? A little baby hairless mouse. I raised it for about 8 months. The whole time that this was going on, I had a mouse and I was feeding it. His name was Cat Food. He got high every day. People on the block were sick, dope sick, but I never went without. You know what I mean? My mouse was getting high while dudes were out in the block chasing pieces around. Like, it was hilarious. I mean, I thought it was funny because I was up there sitting pretty. I didn't care. But, you know, I did care about my homeboys, right? If they were my bros, if they were my brothers or my friends and close acquaintances, of course, if they came to me sick, I'm going to give them a piece. But when it came to the other people, they're kind of, you know, I don't give a damn about them. You know what I mean? They don't give a damn about me. So it's not like I should give an extra special fuck about them. You know what I mean? But anyways, right? I kind of lost the fucking track. I had my mouse. I was in cell 42 and the nurse was coming up the stairs giving me my meds and then leaving the block. And after she did the rest of the block's meds, because usually they go up to a window on the unit when the whole tier is out and they'll line up and you'll get your pills, spit them in your hand, and then walk back to your cell or whatever the hell you do, because 99% of the people don't take their meds. You know what I mean? And whether it's because they take them right before they go to sleep or they take them later on at like a few at a time, whatever. I don't know. But it's just like, the thing is, it's like, you know, they crush certain pills, right? So if you get any type of narcotic, you get a Neurontin. Yes, yo. So I'll tell you about when I got beat up, right? I'm beating around the bush. I'm not trying to tell you I got my head kicked in. All right. So anyways, right. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. Pump your brakes, right? So I don't work out. I'm laying in my bed. I'm pretty much bedridden. Every single day, my routine is to stretch. I'm doing yoga. I'm meditating because the pain is so severe that I'll lay on the ground for a few hours straight and with my back on the cold floor, and I'll put my arms out to the side like that and just do like a dead person pose, like trying to align my spine. It just sucked. So, right, fast forward, right, one morning, so leading up to this, actually, I got to tell you another piece because there's an important part to this, right? So there's a white kid from the Cape. That's my area, right? So technically he's my homeboy. I beat him up. I knocked him out and took his dope on the streets. Now, there was, unknown to me, I guess he had like told on his girlfriend or something, and I had no idea about any of that shit, right? But he's from the Cape, and technically he's there. He's a white dude, so I have his back. If I'm out and he's getting jumped, I'm gonna have to jump in, right? Just off of the way it is in prison, in the politics in prison, right? Because it just kind of looks weak if he's from my area and there isn't yet anything about the kid that's bad. So I just let him get jumped. It doesn't look good on me. I would look like a bitch. You know what I mean? But so he's running up bills. Him and this kid, Vinny, who's a white Spanish gang member. I'm not going to say the name of the gang, but he's in a Spanish gang. He's a white dude, right? He's Italian by descent. So because of that, he's got some type of Latino in him, and because of that, he can get down with this gang. So he's down with that gang. But he's a white dude. Like, he's running with the white dudes. He's getting high with the white dudes. He's running up bills, right? He's running up a lot of bills. I'm talking about thousands of dollars, right? Now, in our state, someone made a good point earlier. In our state, we don't do any on cuffs. We don't do nothing without getting the money on the wood, right? So most people, if you're buying drugs in our state, you're going to be putting your money on the wood. We don't give drugs out without getting the money first, right? But there's those random cases that slip through the cracks where people are just like, whatever, they know the dude's a scram. They know they can kick his ass. They're not afraid of him at all. And so therefore they're not afraid to come get their money, in other words. So they'll give them something knowing, like, if they're going to come and they're going to threaten them to pay them, they think that this person they're giving them this shit to is going to have enough respect for their gangster to pay him. It never works out like that, right? These dudes that keep on getting cuffs and cuffs and cuffs. It's like, I don't know why anybody does it, but they do it. And it's just like, why won't they do that for me? I'll pay that damn shit. Like, I'm the one that will pay it. But I think what it is they know they got the money with me. Like, all they have to do is hold out and they're going to get money right away. You know what I mean? And and also the second biggest thing is that nobody wanted to give me nothing up front because they knew if I don't pay, they're not doing shit about it. You know what I mean? There's only a few people that I went to for shit on the cuff, and they were my equals. There were people that really would do something about it. Probably if I didn't pay, they would definitely have a problem with it. You know what I mean? But I did, anybody I dealt with on that level, I had enough respect for and a mutual respect with, that they would give me types of breaks, you know what I mean? And be like, just take your time, pay me when you get it. Because I was always kept it real. I'd be like, I don't have it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, I got you when I got you 100%. And they knew that I meant it because I always kept my word and I always pay my bills. But these two dudes didn't pay their bills, right? So one morning I'm going to sleep. I sleep in almost every morning. Everybody on the block knows this because people in prison, they judge routines, right? They're looking at everybody else and seeing what they're doing, right? They know I'm sleeping in the morning because every morning I yell, close 42. I'm in a single cell on the top tier. I'm getting my morning sleep. And as soon as I yelled close 42, my door shuts. I go lay down on the bed. I hear feet squeaking on the tier. And so I jump up, I go to the window, and I see a ball of three dudes on the floor fighting. Then I see, and there was white arms, all white arms. So I'm like, shit, right? So I see my friend Justin look up at my cell because he knows that the dude getting jumped, right, is my friend from the Cape. Now, there's two people from the Cape involved. One of them was the kid that was on my side of the tier, and the other one was my friend who I fucked with every day, right? This kid was a good kid. He's from my area. I ate with him. I broke bread with him. We picked up packages on the block and split them and sold them together. Like, we did business. You know what I mean? He was my buddy, right? I kind of left him out of the story so far. The other Cape kid is the one I was talking about. The one that I said was no good, had some shit. So those two dudes that are cellies down here on my side of the tier, the white Spanish gang member and the other kid from the Cape, are cellies. And they're jumping on this kid from the Cape over here that's on the other side of the tier. Allegedly, that kid called that kid a rat, which was technically true, I guess, right? But this kid that he called a rat, I had knocked him out and took his dope on the streets. I didn't even care for him at all. But I did fuck with my friend over here that was getting jumped, right? So Justin sees him getting jumped by these two scrams, right? And runs over, and this kid, the kid that I got into a fight with, this is what ends up getting me into this fight, right? So now, because the white kid that's in the Spanish gang is in a Spanish gang, this kid jumps in the middle and says, nah, this dude called him a rat. To my friend, he tells my friend Justin, no, this dude called him a rat. So Justin hooks off and swings on him. Now, because he hooked off and swung, he got lugged. But the Spanish gang member didn't, because I believe his superior was linked in, bro, with the boys. Honestly, that's what I think. And why else? Because any other time a dude gets into a fight, you get lugged to the hole. You know what I mean? Like you don't get to stay in population, even if you're the person who gets knocked the fuck out and is laying flat on the floor. You know what I mean? So for him to get involved in this altercation, not get lugged, he's the only person out of all 5 people not to get lugged. And it wasn't because he was no good, because this kid's as solid as a rock. And I know that for a fact. But his man, his right-hand man was, I believe he wasn't above water when it came to the yips and information and shit. So anyways, right. That's what happens. So now all these dudes get lugged. They jump my friend, my business partner on the unit. They take him off. One of my brothers, who's a boyo, gets lugged to the hole for trying to jump in for my friend, right? Because he knew he was my friend, saw it going down, and knew that I would be mad if he was out and didn't jump in. But also he knew it was the right thing to do. And this kid, he does the right thing all the time. Like this kid, one of the most solid kids. He was my cellmate for a long time. He's my friend on the streets now. I actually did an interview on him on my channel. It's the Oklahoma kid from Oklahoma City. He's a great kid, bro. Got some serious hands on him too. But so like if he wanted to, like what happened was he didn't know what was going on. So when he threw that punch, he kind of froze, thinking like, what the fuck is going on? Like, does Maddie know about this? Like, why haven't I heard? Like, so he froze up and he didn't throw any more punches because he didn't know if the Spanish dude that was stopping him was like trying to help him out or something. And he just didn't know. And he had the reflex to throw a punch at him. But after that, it just stopped. So now all these dudes get lugged, right? They're in the hole. When they go to the hole, though, the Spanish dude stays, the Dominican kid stays. And now all my boys are like, yo, this dude can't. He jumped in and it's one of our brothers now. Now it's a gang thing, right? That gang, the Spanish gang, and then my brothers, right? Because one of my brothers got lugged for this fight. So we tell them, look it, we have a little meeting together. We're like, look, we have to handle that situation. Like we can't let this kid get jumped and then him get in the middle of a white situation, because it doesn't matter if that white kid was in a Spanish gang. He was teaming up with another non-affiliated white kid to jump another non-affiliated white kid. And that doesn't fly, right? You don't do that shit, right? So we told each other, like, look, we got to take care of it. Now everybody's talking about, oh, I'll do it when I do this and I'll do it when I do that. Now I told you I could hardly walk. I'm going out to the yard simply for this meeting, and I'm hobbling around, right? And I'm in pain, not for nothing. I'm in pain. I can't walk right. My calf doesn't work. So that means like if I lifted myself up with my right calf so that I could put myself on my tippy toe on my left foot and then let go on my right side, my foot's going poop right to the ground. I can't hold myself up. I can't pick myself up. Nothing. Like my left leg is just not working, right? It's all fucked up and my whole left foot is totally numb. So I'm like, I told dudes like, look, as soon as I could walk up and down the stairs without help from the railing, I'm going to fight this kid. Fuck it. Right? If nobody else has done it yet, I'll fight him, bro, because that's my homeboy. That's my friend. And that's my brother. And it's a brother that I brought in nonetheless, right? This is a person that I brought into the fold. So, like after that, a week goes by, 10 days go by, because the dude that got jumped gets out of the hole, but they put him in the orientation unit because they said they couldn't put him back over on that unit because of the Spanish kid that was there was involved in the other side's fight, right? He was involved for the other side and they didn't know like where this kid stood with everybody yet. So they put him in the orientation unit. So I'm over there like telling, when the Ips come for happy hour, I'm like, look, this kid's good, man. Like, let him back over. He's my friend. You know what I mean? And that's all I said, you know what I mean? Which is perfectly fine when it comes to being able to talk to them. But and that's all I would say to them. Like, I don't talk to these motherfuckers at all, but they did have a level of respect for me because of the way I carry myself. I never caused them any extra added issues. And when I did, I caused them real issues. You know what I mean? Like, I made them work, and I know what actually makes them have to work, which is paperwork and extra man hours right before shift change shit. Like, I could really make them work, and they know it, right? So they pay attention to me when I say shit sometimes, right? But this kid comes by, right? So he writes me a kite as soon as he hits the orientation unit. He writes me a kite, and he's like, "Yo, Maddie," he's like, "Why haven't you done that yet?" He's like, "Dude, this dude's fucking over here." He's like, "And nobody's even moved on him." He's like, "That makes me feel like a clown." He's like, "Nobody's even got my back." Blah blah blah. So I'm like, "Oh hell no, right? I'm not the type of dude that will let one of my lose a friend over having to fight somebody with my fists, right?" So I'm like, oh hell no, over a damn fight. I'm like, fuck that, right? So I go, I'm in. I right when I get the kite. Now that day I did. That was really the first day I was walking up and down the stairs without a thing. And I swear to God, I was already gonna fight the kid that night. But when I got that letter, I was so mad in my head about it. I'm like, nah, fuck that, right? So I go and I walk across the tier. I didn't tell none of my brothers, right? I didn't tell any of my brothers, right? None of them. I walked over to him. I hit him in the chest with my fingertips. And I was like, yo, I got to talk to you. And so we walked up the stairs, walked to my cell, and we went in my cell. He sat down in the toilet, and I stood up in the back of the cell. And I was like, look, it, bro, what happened the other day with you jumping in with this? I was like, I got letters, bro. We got to get that in. And he's like, for real, bro? He's like, we're friends. He's like, we're going to fight over this shit. I said, yeah, bro, you had no business jumping in that fight. And I'm not going to lose a friend that I know from the streets over something like this, bro. I can't. You know what I mean? It's not how I roll. And number one, it should have been dealt with right away, but nobody else wanted to handle it. So we're here right now. And this is what we got to do, bro. And I'm totally out of shape. This kid just got out of doing 3 years in DDU, and he's been working out heavy every day, doing all those extra jumping jacks and burpee jumps, mixes, like all these different workout mixes. Like I'm over here fucked up and bedridden and shit, and I hadn't worked out in months, right? Literally like about 8 months. I injured myself working out, didn't work out since, and I still couldn't feel my foot, still couldn't use my leg like that, but I could walk without so much pain as I was in before. So he's like, all right, bro. He's like, whatever, man. So I reach in my pants, I grab my weapon. I had a banger on me, and I pull it out of my pants just to show him, like, look it. I pulled it out, and I just saw him look it, like, you know, he knew I wasn't pulling it out to use it, because I just pulled it out with a flat hand like this. And I put it behind my bed, and just to let him know, like, look, I'm taking my weapon out, put it behind the bed, to let him know, like, if you have a weapon, take it out and put it somewhere, because we're not using weapons in this cell right now. You know what I mean? It ain't one of them fights. So, and it was also to kind of comfort him, because he knew all of us white boys had weapons, bro. All of us had bangers. So, he knew I had one. So I just let him know, like, look, I'm not about to use this on you. You don't have to be nervous, right? And he knew about my reputation too. So he wasn't just fighting me. He was fighting somebody. You know what I mean? Like, this is a fight for him. He's fighting somebody with a big name. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just putting myself in his shoes. And like a real fact is that he was fighting somebody like me, which, you know, is going to go around. It's going to spread around. Like, people are going to hear about it. You know what I mean? So, and because of who he is too, he's well known. He's a well-known individual. Like, he had been going around doing shit like me the whole bit too, just different level shit. You know what I mean? But so he's like, yo, we're gonna put the curtain up, right? So the curtain, we block the cell door with the cell door still open, but we put the curtain up so that nobody from the block can see. Now, because we're both in a gang, right? We don't tell our superiors. He doesn't tell his superior. Sorry, I don't have a superior. All my brothers, we're like a round table crew. We all are on the same level. There's no one that gives orders, but we all do what we're supposed to do without question. You know what I mean? And it really is like that. You know what I mean? We all do handle our own business without question, right? So yeah, Navy SEAL style, right? So we put the curtain up. I had cleaned out my cell a little bit. I tried to get most of the stuff off the floor, but I was so cocky, right? I went down there to fight him. I had Bobos on. I didn't even put my regular sneakers on. I had never lost a fight before. I was so confident in the fact that I was going to wipe this kid down real quick. I was going to dust him up off the floor, brush his shoulders off, and shake his hand and be like, you had a good one, kid. You really gave me a good fight, and lie to him and you know, pat him on the butt, say good game, and get the fuck out of my cell. But it didn't go down like that, right? I put my hands up and I hit him with a 3-piece right off the rip. Bink, bink, bink. over it, a jab, a cross, and then a hook. Really good ones too. Snapped them off. Boom. I nodded his forehead, but he took it on his forehead. He put his head down, took it on his forehead, reached down, grabbed my front leg, pulled my front leg up, and boom. What happens? My first Bobo falls off. Bang. He looks me in my eye and smiles, bro. Right? He knew. He's like, oh shit. And then he scooped me, bang, put me on my back. My other Bobo falls off immediately when I hit my back, right? So then I get up off my back fairly quickly, but when I'm doing it, I grab the bed and I knock the whole thing of cereal all over my floor. So now I'm in my socks. I'm fighting this kid who's in great shape, and I'm sliding all over my fucking perfectly waxed floor, right? I got my floor extra waxed, bro, because I kept on stealing wax from the sergeant's office and fucking pouring it all over my floor. And I had layers and layers of wax and shit, right? And all of us did, really, because that's what we did. We all would steal wax and wax our floors so that it wasn't like a tennis court in there. You know what I mean? But when you're fighting, that's way better, because once blood gets on that wax floor, it's super slippery. You'll be in the ice skating rink or cereal in socks. That's not a good mix, right? So I'm sliding all over. I'm holding him like this, but I'm punching him, and he's hitting me. Bam, bam, bam. And fucking, he gets me. We're going into the curtain, bumping into the curtain, going down, and then he gets me on my locker, right? I'm to this point, I'm standing up and I'm holding my own. But once he pushes me down and gets me on my locker, he starts bombing me while I'm sitting on my locker. And I can't even get up because the way he's standing and the way I'm sitting, and I'm in my socks, so I have no grip on the floor, no grip on anything. And he's duffing me, boom, boom. And he's like, you good? You good? And I'm like, hell no. Hell no. I'm not quitting, bro. You're going to have to kill me, dude, right? Like, no bullshit. I'm not stopping. Like, I don't give a fuck. You got pillow hands. It didn't even hurt, right? I didn't even care. I'm just getting hit. It didn't really hurt, but he was duffing me. You know what I mean? Simple as that. He was duffing me, and the kid was hitting me. Boom, boom. My head's going back and forth. Finally, someone yells, flats. So now the CO's on the flats. I'm like, word, break. We get a little bit of a break. And the CO comes on the flats, and now I tell him, stand by the door. Don't go anywhere, right? He's standing by the door. He's not really going anywhere, but he's keeps on saying, yo, they're telling me to leave. They're telling me to leave, because I'm on the floor. I'm scooping up the cereal, and I'm trying to find my sneakers so I can put my sneakers on, right? Because I want to get this. The second time we fight, I'm getting it, bro, right? I'm not losing this fucking fight. So I'm looking for my sneakers, but I think he thought, because every time I reached under my bed, he would go, oh, they're telling me to leave. And I think he thought I forgot that I put my knife under the bed. So he thought, and I could now, like, looking back, hindsight's 2020, every time I reached under there to look for my sneakers and scoop the cereal, he would go to the door and tell me, oh, they're telling me to leave. And so when I did that, the last time I did it, he said, no, they're telling me to leave. And so he got out and he just left, and he walked down the stairs, bro. Right. And from what I heard, someone said he pounded his chest. And I'm like, oh, hell no, bro. Right. So I'm in my cell. I'm cleaning up. I got a little bit of a black eye and a little bit of a bloody nose. He's got some knots on his forehead and shit, but he scraped me, bro. Like, he got me on that locker. He was hitting me for a little bit, and I wasn't stopping. Like, I wouldn't give him the, like, nah, I'm quitting type of thing. You know what I mean? So he just kept on hitting me. I'm not saying uncle, bro. Fuck that. So now the gang politics, right, that kick in for this. So the fight happens. Now everybody hears about it. Everybody on the block knows what happened. Even the cops that are on the block, they let shit like this with us slide every day. It was because we were on a block that had all the high profile, like, thorough old school gangsters. Like, they put cops down there that were very, accepting of the way things ran, because it was just like that. We had that block on smash. Anybody who says different, N1, P1, the convicts got shit on smash down there. I mean, before they switched it, made it a supermax, and then put everybody on the north side that was in those blocks on the south side and split them all up into different places. Before they did that, we had that shit on smash. And that's just as simple as that. Like, but we come out that night, and I tell my boy Garvey, right? God rest his soul. I'm like, Garvey, I need a haircut, because I thought I was going to go to the hole. So I wanted to look fresh. I'm like, yo, Garvey, I need a haircut. And so he's like, all right. So at dinner time, he comes over. I'm sorry, I said at rec time. At dinner time, he comes over to cut my hair. We lock in for that period of time in between dinner and rec. And the cops, they shut our door. He cuts my hair, and he breaks me off with some Suboxone. I think he actually lost 2.5 strips that night somewhere, either in my cell or out on the tier. And I don't think we ever found him, but he ended up saying that he thinks he flushed him because when he threw everything in my toilet that night, he said he flushed him or some shit. But so he cuts my hair and I tell him, look it, bro, like I'm not going out like that. Like this kid beat me. He left my cell. I told him to stay right where he was. The fight ain't over. Like I didn't tell him to leave. I didn't tell him I was done. So this is not over. Like I'm fighting again. Like this is bullshit. Fuck that. Right now I got his superior coming over. Why you remember this, Razor? You remember this, Razor? Yeah, so whatchamacallit? What the fuck was I about to say? What was I saying? Damn. Yo, what was I saying, Razor? Fuck, I was Oh yeah, so we come out. He cuts my hair, and I tell him I want to get it again. I want a fair one, right? So when the rec pops at 6:30, I come out now. As soon as the rec doors crack, even after Garvey cut my hair and went back to his cell, and right before rec came out, I had his superior at my door telling me like, Maddie, bro, look we can't do this again. Like, you guys should have came to us first and talked to us. That's fucked up. But because that's one of my people and that was on him to come tell me, he's like, I'm not mad at you for that. That was on him, blah, blah, blah. But we can't do this again type of thing. Like we can't do a round two. Like you guys fought. It is what it is. He said that you're going to want to fight him again. But I got to tell you, Maddie, I'm not with it, bro. So you're going to have to talk to your people. So whatever you guys want to do, because I don't want to let this happen again. It's like I'm throwing my people to the wolves. I'm like, bro, how is that in any way true? I'm calling one of your mans out one-on-one. You're going to protect him? Like, is he? I just didn't understand it, bro. You know what I mean? But, then one of my boys, soon as the doors cracked, I had the dude that everybody looked to in my crew, like as the one of the influential people, the person you go to when you have an issue with us, like that type of dude. So he's in my cell, another dude's in my cell, and one of my friends said, see this shit I got to deal with. And I told him, I said, yo, get the fuck out of my cell, bro. I was so mad. I kicked him out of my cell. I wasn't having that shit, bro. I'm just all sad. That shit was crazy, bro. Like, you can see what I got to deal with. Like, I'm some type of live wire doing things out of control or out of order, bro, right? What I did was I saved everybody from getting into a brawl because I had to handle something that those dudes don't like one-on-ones. Like, so if you go to them and tell them, like, look, I want to fight one of your people, they'll be like, oh, no. If he did something legit that's worth a violation or a fight, and it's actually worth it, they'll be like, nah, we'll do it ourselves, and you can watch, or we'll violate him and we'll make sure that he pays you back double or triple or whatever the fuck it is, and something like that. It would always be some type of resolution, which is what I don't want, which is why we didn't say nothing. And typically I would have said something, right? Now there's a couple of different scenarios. So I've written down a couple things, and these are situations that do with this that are real important. So what would happen if we had let our people know we were going to fight prior to this, right? If we had let our people know in this situation, they would have done everything in their power to make it so it didn't happen, that there was some type of peaceful resolution, or it would have had to have been a huge fight, bro. Like we would have all had to get in a big ass fight, right? So, yeah, his superior came to me. I talked to his superior all the time. So his superior was also one of my friends. But now looking back, there was so many funny things that happened around him. Just him, the kid that I fought staying and all that, you know what I mean? It was just crazy. Hey, what's up? Addicted to Shoes, True Crime and the Truth. Hey, Razor, Bricks, Billy Green, Metal Groupie, Bats Out and About, James Smith, man, everybody who's here tonight, I appreciate everybody who's watching right now. If you're watching, man, hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. If you want to, you can join the channel for $2.99 a month. And I'm gonna finish this story real quick. So now what's happening? Like if I was to tell them that I was like, look, this is what would happen, right? I would go to them and I'd be like, look it. I would go to the superior of the Spanish gang. I'd be like, look it. I gotta fight this dude because of this, and this, and I'm coming to you out of respect. So please try. I'm not coming for permission. I'm not coming to, negotiate. Me and him gotta fight. Let's do what we gotta do to make this happen. They're gonna try to do whatever they can to make it so it doesn't happen. And I hate going through all that shit because at the end of the day, I'm not taking no for an answer. They know it. I know it. We know it. It's just gonna happen. So for me, because I was fighting him in the cell and it wasn't gonna drag my boys into it, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We don't have to tell nobody. Let's just do this, get it out of the way. My friends already knew that this was gonna have to happen at some point. So they had some idea, but they just didn't know that I would just go randomly do it one day. I don't think they thought I was gonna do it at all because I just didn't do it right away. Like, I'm not them. Sometimes, like, don't get it wrong. All my friends, they're crushes. They're straight bruisers, right? We all fight, but it was just one of those situations that had more to do with me than anybody else. Like, these were Cape kids involved. The reason why it happened was a kid that I put down. Justin came over and swung, and this dude got in the middle and didn't get lugged and all that. And so it was something to do with me more than anybody else. So I felt like it was kind of on me more than anybody anyway. And so it wasn't up to them in this situation. So I don't think they thought like I was going to really avenge my friend like that because I just didn't do it right away. He wasn't a boyo. So it was like, whatever. But I did because I do it with everybody. And they knew that in their hearts. I feel like everybody who knows me knows I'm not letting one of my friend's enemies walk around. Like, I'm not. I never lived with a friend's enemy ever. I've always got it in. As soon as I see an on-site with my people, I do what I'm supposed to do. And it's never been a question, right? And everybody knows it, and that's why everybody loves me and respects me. So another question was why it was okay this time when it was 100% right to let dudes know in general, right? So it's technically right to let the other side know you're going to fight one of their people. That's the honorable, respectful way to go about it. But the reason why it was okay in this situation is because none of our friends on either side were going to end up jumping in because we put the curtain up in our cell and we were fighting one-on-one without telling anybody first. So by the time the fight's over, we're both friends and we know we're not going to drag our people into it. That's why I didn't say it. That's why I didn't, you know what I mean? I knew, so I just didn't, I didn't say nothing, right? I knew I wasn't going to drag my boys into it. So I was like, fuck it, whatever. But in any other situation, like when I fought a person of the same gang, I fought him up on P2. And when I was up on P2 and fought him, I went to their people and told them, like, look, this is going to have to happen because of this. The atmosphere up there is like, they would have known we were both in double cells. So people would have known we were fighting. They would have jumped in. It would have caused a brawl. And so on that respect, I went to him and let him know, like, look, this is what's going to happen. And on that time, they did the same thing. They tried to pay me, say, like, look, we're not going to let you fight him. We're going to do it ourselves, let you watch and pay you, blah, blah, blah. I said, nah. This is not a negotiation. I almost got into a fight with another one of them before it. And then I ended up going out to the rec deck and we ended up getting it in. I won that fight heavily. That dude got scraped up off the rec deck that night. But yeah, man. So it was that's just how it's been. With prison politics wise, like when they kick in, prison politics can be real hard when you're getting into fights and with other races, especially when it's a mutual combat and both you want to fight. Everybody always has to get involved. Like your race is gonna jump in, your car, your gang, you know what I mean, your circle. They're gonna want to get involved, and a lot of times people in prison, like my friends, would not even let me fight a fair one. Sometimes they would, if it was a white dude, like for instance, I was gonna fight this dude in P1, and I told him, meet me in the cell first thing in the morning. Dude caught mad deuces, straight bitched up. And the kid's a bitch for that, right? But it is what it is. That's a different story for a different day. but I called him out a mad times. I was trying to fight him, and at first, it was supposed to happen, but um, you know, and what was going to happen was when I went in to fight him, I had told everybody, stay out of this. This is between me and this dude, a one-on-one fight. I don't need help. I don't want help because I want to be the one that gets all the shine when I win. Like, he's a tough kid. Like, this kid that I was going to fight, the one that I'm talking about now that I says a bitch, he had a reputation for being a tough kid. He was from, he was from a tough city. He, was knocking dudes out. He was getting in fights. He was known to be a tough kid. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to be the first one to crush his face in. And from here forward, the people be like, nah, Maddie smashed him. And that's how it is in there. You know what I mean? Like, you see a dude that's tough dude, be like, yeah, he's a tough dude, but Maddie whooped his ass. Like, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of people that you can say that about. Like, so, but you know what I mean? That's all like war stories. That's like tooting my own horn and shit. But that's just how gang politics works. That was the story about my loss in prison and, everything that happened with that. It's about to be about an hour in this live. I appreciate everybody for showing up tonight. And I hope everybody truly enjoyed this video. I hope everybody can go and watch that video I put up and hit the like button on it with mathematics. That interview is so dope, man. Like, you listen to that whole thing. That shit is fire, man. True crime ain't necessarily factual stuff. See what I'm saying? Hen? What do you mean by that, James Smith? Why are you saying that? True crime ain't factual stuff. You saying I'm lying? Yeah, that's Metal Groupie. Honestly, when I got out of prison and I realized just how fucked up individuals were out here, like how disrespectful they are, like it blew my mind. That's why so many people get out of prison after doing long stretches in maximum securities, end up catching life sentences and going back for murder because they come out and they think their life's in danger. The way people talk out here, they act like, they'll talk like it's a true threat to your well-being, and you're conditioned to believe when someone talks to you in this manner, it's a threat on your life just from being in prison all that time. And then it's really not, because people out here don't think like that. You know what I mean? Unless you've been in prison, you're on that same level. Really don't think like that. Okay, so Odinist. I'll do a video on Odinist at some point, the Odinist movement in Massachusetts. That'll be a cool one because I know a lot about that. Being somebody that actually read up on it and used to kind of follow it myself. Matter of fact, I have a Thor's hammer right there. The big tattoo on the back of my head is a big Thor's hammer with dragons and Viking boats. I got Odin, I got Thor, I got Balder, all these different Norse gods tattooed on me and shit. So I could do a little bit of about that, and you know what I mean? Okay, okay. I hear you, Jameson. Okay, I appreciate it. My fault. Yeah, so yeah, definitely. I wonder if because the Odinist movement in California and like the Western prisons, I heard it's really heavy out there, and like they kind of cover like any white supremacist gang kind of uses that as cover. They say, anyways, that's what they're saying. I think it's a load of trash. We could all meet with each other whenever, wherever we want to, anyways. I think it's just something that people believe in, and it's a bond that they share, some type of spirituality. And honestly, I'm a Christian, so I believe that Christianity is the only and the one true way in the light of in salvation and humanity. But anything that's spirituality, I think that it's okay. I think it's all right. It's an evolution. Spirituality is kind of an evolution, and in prison, your spirit goes through a crazy evolution. Like you have, oh man, I can't even explain it. Just the stress and the struggle, and just the pressure, dealing with the atmosphere in that prison, and just dealing with everything that comes along with it. Like your spirit, it's like it goes through the fire. You know what I mean? You're spiritually gangster once you come out of there. If you're not broken completely, you're a spiritual gangster when you come out of prison after a long stretch and you're still a whole person. You definitely had some God in your life making it through all that. You know what I mean? Hey, Southie, what's up? Southie ain't all yuppies. Not yet, bro. Not yet. Once they knock down Old Harbor, man, I'm dreading the fact that they're knocking down the projects. They're gonna put all these what are they gonna put there? You know what I mean? I'm just wondering what they're gonna put in its place, and then they're changing the rent around. So now you gotta pay for the water, the lights, and everything you would normally pay for in like a house or an apartment or something like, and you've never had to do that before. And yeah, it's gonna run a lot of people out of there, I think. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be more yuppies. I don't know. But yeah, man, Southie in the building. My girl's gonna tap in. If she's listening right now, you know she's gonna say something right now. Fact. Ah, there she is, bro. There she is. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody for showing up tonight. It was a fire story. Hope everybody's having a great night. Everybody who is here, please hit the like button. Please share my videos. Please share them to Facebook. Just hit the little arrow, put it on the Facebook the news feed, and put, check this content out. It's fire. And I'm telling you, a lot of views come from that. And what it does is the more people that watch, the more algorithms that my channel will be in. You know what I mean? So we need to get my channel out into all these different algorithms. Let's do it, people. You know what I mean? With your help, we could blow up overnight. If everybody here shared this video to their Facebook, we could blow up overnight. Word. Let's put me in the algorithm, people. I hope everybody had a great night. W number. Ow.